The case of the missing monitor signal, or I swear it's plugged in. It was a Tuesday morning, still early enough that the coffee hadn't fully kicked in. Ticket comes in, external monitor not working. Standard stuff, usually a quick fix. I grab my toolkit, which is mostly just a USB stick with diagnostic tools and a spare HDMI cable, and head down to Building C. User, let's call her Brenda, is already waiting at her desk, looking thoroughly annoyed. Her laptop is open, but the big 27-inch monitor next to it is stubbornly black. No signal message, no power lights, just off. Morning, Brenda. What's happening with the monitor? I ask, trying to sound chipper despite the hour. It just stopped working, she exclaims, throwing her hands up. 1 minute it was fine, the next, black. I haven't touched anything. Classic. Okay, let's take a look. I kneel down behind the desk, which is a tangled mess of cables, power strips, and what looks suspiciously like a half-eaten sandwich from last week. First check, power. The monitor's power cable is firmly plugged into a power strip. The strip has lights on, other things are plugged in and working. Okay, power seems fine at the strip. Second check, the monitor itself. I feel around the back, the power cable is plugged into the monitor. Still no light, no sign of life. Maybe the monitor itself is dead? It's only a couple of years old, but stranger things have happened. Brenda, can you confirm the monitor's power cable is plugged into the back of the monitor? I ask, even though I just checked. Yes, of course it is. I'm not stupid, she snaps back. Right? My mistake for asking. Third check, the video cable. This one is connected via DisplayPort. I trace the cable from the monitor to the docking station under her laptop. It seems firmly seated at both ends. And the cable connecting the monitor to the laptop, is that secure? I ask, standing up. Yes. Everything is plugged in, she insists, getting more agitated. It was working just fine. This is ridiculous. I have work to do. I sigh internally. Time for the basic troubleshooting steps, even if she insists she hasn't touched anything and everything is plugged in. Okay, Brenda, humor me. Let's try the basics. Can you unplug the monitor's power cable from the wall or the power strip? Wait 30 seconds and plug it back in. She huffs but reaches down. I hear some rustling and then silence. No click, no tugging sound of a cable being removed. Okay, done, she says. Did you actually unplug it? I ask, my patience wearing thin. Yes, she practically shouts. I said I did, didn't I? I lean back down, peer under the desk. The power cable is still firmly in the power strip. I point. Brenda, the cable is still plugged in. You need to physically remove it. She leans down, looks, and then her eyes widen slightly. Oh, right, I thought I did. She fumbles with it for a moment, pulls it out, waits. Okay, now I did it. Waiting 30 seconds. After the pause, she plugs it back in. I watch the monitor. Still black, no light. My suspicion that the monitor is dead grows stronger. Okay, still nothing. Let's try a different cable. I brought a spare DisplayPort cable. I swap out the cable. Still black. Okay, how about HDMI? Does this monitor have HDMI? It does. I swap out the DisplayPort cable for my spare HDMI. Connect it to the dock. Still black. Brenda, I'm starting to suspect the monitor itself might be faulty, I say, preparing to arrange for a replacement. It's not even showing a power light. She stares at the monitor. Then, without a word, she reaches out and presses a button on the bottom bezel of the monitor. The monitor instantly springs to life, displaying the laptop's extended desktop. I stare at the screen. I stare at Brenda. She avoids my gaze, suddenly very interested in her keyboard. Brenda, was the monitor just turned off? I ask, trying to keep my voice even. Well, she mutters, I thought I turned it on this morning. Maybe I missed the button. I gather my tools, bite back about 20 different responses, and slowly back away. Okay, well, it's working now. Let me know if you have any other issues. I walk away, defeated by a power button. Again. The sandwich smell follows me down the hall. Seriously, how many times is it just the power button? The frustration is real, folks. If you agree, hit that like and subscribe button now. The executive who deleted the entire department's shared drive. Working in corporate IT, you deal with users who have varying levels of technical skill. Most are fine, some are challenging. Then there are the executives, often busy, often impatient, and sometimes terrifyingly capable of digital self-harm on an industrial scale. This story involves Mr. Henderson, a senior VP known for being perpetually busy and slightly intimidating. He wasn't malicious, just forceful, and not particularly detail-oriented when it came to computers. Our department had a shared drive, a critical repository for ongoing projects, historical data, and templates. It was backed up nightly, and snapshots were kept for a week, with weekly backups archived off-site. Seemed robust enough. One afternoon, my phone rings. It's Mr. Henderson's assistant, voice tight with panic. Mr. Henderson says he can't find anything on the shared drive. He says it's all gone. My blood runs cold. All gone is rarely good. I immediately check the server. The share is online. Permissions look correct. The drive size seemed drastically smaller than it should be. I remote into Mr. Henderson's computer. I navigate to the shared drive. It's not empty, but maybe 95% of the folders and files are missing. Just a few recent documents remain in 1 or 2 top-level folders. I call him back. Mr. Henderson, I see the drive, but it looks like most of the content is missing. Were you doing anything with the files recently? Moving things? Deleting? Deleting? Why would I delete anything? He booms, clearly annoyed. I was just trying to organize. It was a mess. I moved some things around, put them in better folders. Then I couldn't find anything. Organizing. The dread intensifies. Okay, where did you move them to? Your desktop? Another drive? Nowhere. I just tidied up. Deleted some old stuff I didn't need. He pauses. Look, I don't have time for this. Just fix it. I need those files. Then I check his recycle bin. Empty. I check his desktop. Nothing resembling mass moved shared files. My stomach sinks. It sounds like he selected a huge swathe of folders and hit delete, possibly thinking he was deleting shortcuts or some temporary view. The "are you sure you want to permanently delete X items" wet prompt probably clicked through it without reading, as busy VPs are wont to do. Mr. Henderson, it looks like you might have accidentally deleted a large number of files directly from the shared drive, I explained, trying to be gentle. Because it's a network drive, they don't go to your recycle bin. They're just gone from the live view. A stunned silence, then an explosion. Deleted? I didn't delete anything. Your system is broken. Why would it let me delete things? You need to recover them now. I explained the backup process. We have nightly backups. The most recent is from last night. We can restore from that, but anything created or changed today will be lost. Lost? Lost? He yells. I've been working on critical reports all morning. Are you telling me they're gone because your system isn't working? Sir, the system worked as designed. You had the permissions to delete files, and it appears that's what happened. We can restore the drive to its state as of midnight last night. The conversation devolves into him blaming IT for everything, from poor system design to not having instantaneous, point-in-time backups of every single file modification across the entire network. He insisted he only deleted a few things, maybe some empty folders. My logs, however, showed a single delete operation involving thousands of files and folders from his user account. The restoration took several hours. When it was complete, Mr. Henderson called back, still fuming, complaining about the lost morning's work. There was little sympathy from the IT department or from his colleagues who had also lost a few hours of work because he tidied up. We sent out a company-wide email without naming names, but everyone knew, reminding users about the dangers of mass deletion on network drives and the importance of reading system prompts. Mr. Henderson was quieter for a while, but I'm sure he never truly believed it was his fault. It was just another Tuesday in tech support, helping Mr. Lee find his grandchildren 1 pixel at a time. Not all calls are about printers being off or users deleting everything. Sometimes you get a call that reminds you why you don't always hate your job. Mr. Lee was an elderly gentleman, soft-spoken and clearly frustrated. He called in because his webcam wasn't working with his video call software. He wanted to see his grandchildren who lived halfway across the world and hadn't been able to for weeks. His computer was older, a desktop from the Windows 7 era that had been upgraded to Windows 10. The webcam was an external USB model, probably bought around the same time as the computer. The video call software was a popular free one. I connected remotely. The software seemed to launch, but the video preview window was just black. I checked Device Manager. The webcam was listed, no errors. Drivers seemed okay, albeit old. Mr. Lee, can you see any lights on the webcam? I asked. No, son, nothing, he replied, his voice tinged with disappointment. It used to light up when my daughter called, now nothing. I suspected a hardware failure in the webcam itself, or maybe the USB port. I had him try a different USB port, no change. I had him unplug and replug the webcam, still nothing. The software settings seemed correct, pointing to the right device. I decided to try a different application to test the webcam, something simple like the built-in camera app in Windows. I opened it up, still a black screen. "Mr. Lee," I said gently, "it's possible the webcam itself has stopped working. They don't last forever, unfortunately." "Oh dear," he sighed. "So I can't see them? My daughter says they grow so fast." My heart went out to him. This wasn't just about a broken gadget. It was about connection to his family. I didn't want to just tell him to buy a new webcam and hang up. "Let's just try one more thing," I said. "Sometimes, even if they seem plugged in, the connection isn't quite right. Can you go to the webcam and make sure the USB cable is pushed firmly into the back of it? It might feel like it's in, but just needs a little extra push." He agreed. I heard some shuffling near the microphone. "Alright, I'm touching it now. It feels in. Try giving it a firm push, just to be sure," I prompted. Silence for a moment, then a quiet, "Oh!" Suddenly, the black screen in the camera app flickered, and then a slightly grainy but clear image appeared. It was Mr. Lee, looking surprised with the background of his living room behind him. And on the webcam itself, a small blue LED was glowing. "It's on!" he exclaimed, his voice suddenly brighter. "The light is on." "You did it?" I quickly closed the camera app and opened his video call software. The preview window there was now showing his image too. "Okay, Mr. Lee, it looks like the cable just needed a little reseating," I explained. "It's working now. You should be able to call your daughter and see the grandchildren." "Oh, thank you, son," he said, genuine relief and happiness in his voice. "You don't know what this means. I've missed them so much." He fumbled with the software for a moment, and I guided him verbally to make a call. I heard the dialing sound, then a younger woman's voice answer, surprised. "Dad, is that you? We can see you." Mr. Lee's face on the screen lit up with a huge smile. He started talking to his daughter excitedly, telling her the computer man had fixed it. I could hear the faint, excited voices of children in the background. I quietly disconnected the remote session and hung up the phone. It was a simple fix, a loose cable. But for Mr. Lee, it was the world. It's moments like those that cut through the frustration and remind you that behind the tickets and the technology, you're helping people connect in meaningful ways. The saga of the essential floppy drive on the brand new workstation. Our company was going through a hardware refresh, out with the old, in with the new, shiny new workstations for everyone, faster, more RAM, SSDs, the works. Pretty standard rollout, mostly smooth sailing. Most people were thrilled, except for Mr. Peterson in accounting. And Mr. Peterson was resistant to change. He liked things just so. On his new workstation arrived, I went to set it up for him, migrating his data, installing his necessary accounting software. Everything went fine until I was packing up the old machine. Wait, Mr. Peterson said, holding up a hand. "Where's the floppy drive going?" I blinked. "The floppy drive? Sir, the new machines don't come with floppy drives. They haven't for years. We've moved to USB drives, network shares, cloud storage." "But I need it," he insisted. "All my critical spreadsheets are on floppy disks." My brain momentarily blue-screened. Floppy disks? In 2021? "Mr. Peterson, surely you have these files saved elsewhere? On the network? On a USB? No, they're right here," he said, gesturing to a stack of 3.5-inch disks on his desk, some looking distinctly dusty. "These are my backups, my personal records. I need to access them." "Okay," deep breaths. "Alright, sir. We can get you an external USB floppy drive. They still make them. You can plug it into the new machine to access your files and transfer them over." "External?" he frowned. "Can't you just put the one from the old machine into the new one?" "Unfortunately not, sir. The connections are completely different. The new cases don't even have bays for them anymore. The external one is the only way." He grumbled but agreed. I ordered an external drive. A few days later it arrived. I took it to Mr. Peterson's desk. "Alright, here we are," I said, plugging the small black box into a USB port on his new sleek workstation. Windows detected it, installed a generic driver. Success. "Okay, now you can insert your floppy disk," I instructed. He picked up a disk, inserted it into the external drive. The drive whirred noisily, a sound I hadn't heard in years. Then, silence. No new drive appeared in File Explorer. We tried another disk, same result, another, still nothing. "It's not working," he complained. "See, I told you, these new things are useless. Just put the old drive back." I explained again that wasn't possible. I tried the external drive on my own laptop. It worked fine, detected a floppy disk, a spare blank one I happened to have, don't ask. The issue wasn't the drive or the new computer, it was the floppies. Mr. Peterson, how old are these disks? I asked, picking one up. The label was faded, handwritten. Oh, I don't know. Years, maybe 10, 15, they've been in that stack, he said, pointing to the dusty pile. That was it. Floppy disks degrade. The magnetic media loses its integrity over time, especially if not stored perfectly. 10 to 15 years sitting out on a desk, they were almost certainly corrupted. Sir, I think the problem might be the disk themselves, I explained gently. Floppy disks can fail after many years. It's possible the data on them is no longer readable. Nonsense, he retorted. They were fine when I used them last. When was that, sir? I asked. He paused, thinking. Oh, it must have been before the last computer refresh, maybe 7, 8 years ago. He said it like it was yesterday, 7 or 8 years. Unused, exposed to dust and air. Yeah, those disks were likely toast. I spent the next hour trying every single disk he had. The external drive spun, clicked, and eventually gave up on each one with a Windows error message about the disk being unreadable or unformatted. Not a single file was recoverable. Mr. Peterson was furious. He accused us of breaking his disks, of selling him a faulty drive, of forcing him onto a new system that couldn't read his perfectly good backups. He insisted it should have warned him that floppy disks might fail, as if that wasn't common knowledge for the last 2 decades, or somehow migrated his data for him without him ever giving us the disks. Eventually, his manager had to step in and explain that relying solely on ancient, unverified floppy disks for critical data was perhaps not the most robust backup strategy. Mr. Peterson had to recreate his spreadsheets from scratch using printed copies he thankfully still had. The external floppy drive sat on his desk for months, a monument to outdated technology and user stubbornness, before it quietly disappeared one day. I never asked where it went. Users and their outdated tech dependencies, floppies haven't been reliable for ages. What's the oldest piece of tech a user insisted they still needed? Comment below. The user who couldn't grasp the internet is down versus your computer can't see the internet. Working help desk means you get a lot of calls where the user says the internet is down. Most of the time, it's not the actual internet. It's usually their computer, their Wi-Fi, their router, or sometimes just a specific website. Then there are the users who latch on to the internet is down and refuse to consider any other possibility, no matter how much troubleshooting proves otherwise. Mr. Davies was one such user. He called in quite upset. The internet is down. I can't get online. Okay, Mr. Davies, thanks for calling. Let's figure out what's going on. Are you connected via Wi-Fi or a network cable? I asked, pulling up his system info. Doesn't matter. The internet is down, he insisted. Right, but to figure out why, I need to know how your computer connects. It looks like you're usually on Wi-Fi. Is the Wi-Fi icon showing on your computer? Yes, it's showing, but the internet is down. Okay, can you open a web browser like Chrome or Edge and try going to a simple site like google.com? I tried that. It didn't work because the internet is down. Alright, can you try opening a different website? Maybe bbc.co.uk just to see if it's specific to Google? No point. The internet is down. Nothing will work. This was gonna be fun. Mr. Davies, how do you know the entire internet is down? Are other people in your office having issues? I don't know about them. My internet is down on my computer. Okay, so perhaps the issue is with your computer's connection, not the entire internet. Let's try some steps on your computer. Can you check if you can open internal company sites like our intranet page? Why? The internet is down. That won't work. Sir, the intranet is internal. It doesn't require external internet access in the same way. If that works, it tells us the problem is likely between your computer and the outside world, not that the whole internet has collapsed. Please try opening the intranet page. He reluctantly tried. After a moment, he grumbled, well, that loaded, but I still can't get to Google. The internet is down. Victory. A small one, but a foothold. Okay, great. So your computer can connect to internal resources. That means the basic network connection is working. The problem is likely something specific to accessing external websites. Let's try checking your network adapter status. I guided him through checking network adapter settings, IP configuration, ipconfig/all, pinging external addresses like 8.8.8.8.8 / Google's DNS. The pings worked perfectly fine. He could reach external IP addresses. Mr. Davies, you can successfully ping Google's server, I explained. That means your computer can reach the internet. The issue isn't the internet itself being down. It might be something with how your computer is trying to translate our website names like google.com into those addresses. Let's check your DNS settings. But you just said I can reach the internet. So why can't I go to Google? Because the internet is down. He was back to square one. The circular logic was infuriating. I spent another 15 minutes going through browser settings, checking proxy settings, none configured, clearing browser cache, trying different browsers. Nothing worked for external sites, yet internal sites and pings were fine. Finally, I had an idea. Could it be the firewall? Our corporate firewall was managed, but sometimes local software firewalls on the machine could cause weird issues if they got corrupted or misconfigured. Mr. Davies, let's try temporarily disabling your Windows firewall, I suggested, just for a moment to see if that's blocking things. Disable the firewall? Is that safe? He asked, suddenly cautious after being so insistent. We're only doing it briefly to test and you're behind the corporate firewall, I reassured him. It's a troubleshooting step. He fumbled through the steps to turn it off. Yo, alright, it's off. Now what? Try going to google.com again, I said. Silence on the line. Then I heard the distinct sound of a web page loading in the background. Mr. Davies muttered. It loaded? I asked. Yes, it loaded, he said, sounding bewildered and slightly annoyed, as if my fixing it had ruined his internet is down narrative. So, it wasn't the internet? No, sir, it appears your local Windows firewall was somehow blocking your access to external websites. I guided him back to turn the firewall on, and surprisingly, with it back on, external sites continued to work. Whatever the glitch was, toggling the firewall had cleared it. Huh, he said. Well, thanks. And he hung up. No apology for the internet is down insistence, no recognition that I'd spent half an hour proving him wrong with basic network diagnostics. Just some users just can't let go of their initial diagnosis even when faced with irrefutable evidence to the contrary. Another user who thinks that my computer can't get online means the whole internet is dead. So frustrating. Smash that like and subscribe button if you agree. What was your favorite post today?